We are now live. What
All
the
right.
heck is going on? It's what, May is in the books?
It is
May in the
another
books.
month behind us.
What do you want to rate this May on a scale of 1 to 10 from easy to hard? So 1 being, I guess, super easy, like you're just printing money, and 10 being quite difficult. Oh my God, things are falling
I
apart.
mean, I'm gonna have to say this felt like probably a 6 or a 7, maybe. There were
Okay.
definitely some rough days in there. I want to say it was the third week of May. We had a couple really big moves, couple pretty tough days on Monday and I think Thursday that week. But all in all, it turned out to be a better month than I expected. Midway through, and I think we ended up
Nice.
doing a little bit better than we did in April. So
Good. That's a
we're,
positive.
yeah, things turned out well.
It's funny because I think the last 5 days of the month, obviously both trading this ourselves on the personal account level, I think the last 5 days of the month kind of made up for everything. Because again, geopolitically, we're still not fully stable. Obviously, being short options into that sort of environment, it tends to be a little more difficult than other times.
Yeah,
I think that's fair to say. But
for
things are
sure.
stabilizing, so we're hoping that this whole Iran conflict and everything else that's going on just kind of is a tailwind at the end, and it's not even remembered next month, and we continue on and not have these sort of wild, crazy headline-driven moves, which
Yep.
unfortunately spike gamma. So
All right. Well, let me pull open the reporting
show
and
off the
share that,
tool. Show off the tool, Kyle.
and we.
Look at you.
All right, have
Okay.
May pulled up here.
Okay.
So if you remember, in April we did just over $1,000 profit. So we
Right.
did 1294 in May. So
Beautiful.
almost $1,300 this month. So
Beautiful.
a little better than a 3% return on an account that started out at about $41,000 this month with
Right.
the
Right.
money that we made last month.
Right.
So that again, green is good. That's what we're going for. Had an
Right.
overall win rate 57% on total trades, premium capture rate of 7.9%, which
Which is really good.
I
You know
mean,
what?
I will
That's
definitely take it given the environment and what we've
yeah.
seen this year. 7.9 is pretty
Yep.
good. I'd love to
Yep.
get that. I'd love to see a double digit month here at some point. I think we got one hopefully at some point this year we will see, but this was not the month for it. Max drawdown was a little over $1,000. Had kind of a rough, like I said, if we look at the calendar here, this third week of the month, the 18th through the 22nd was a little rough. That Monday was tough. I had a lot of double stops.
Mm-hmm.
The market moved up and then
Mm-hmm.
back down and then back up. I think it was one of those, or maybe the other direction, but one of those W-shaped days where we
Yeah. Those are never fun.
headed both directions at the same time, which is not ideal. But if you take a look at the total numbers for the whole month, we still did well. I think months like this kind of reiterate what I like to tell people, that we try to trade every day. We try to trade basically the same way every day because we don't know which days are going to be good, which days are going to be bad. And it usually turns out that out of the 20, 21, 22 trading days in a month, that you usually end up making most of your money from 2 to 3 of those days.
Very true.
And you don't
Very
want to
good point.
be
Yeah.
picking it and choosing, I don't feel good about today or the news or whatever. There's, this sort of release or that, it's tough to know what's going to really drive the markets, what's not going to. So we just, try to
Yeah.
be consistent, do the same thing every day. We made, what did we say, $1,300 here. We made almost 800 of that on the 28th, so the last day that we traded. We do typically not trade on the last trading day of the month, just because there can be a lot of fund driven
Yeah.
buying and
Rebalancing stuff that
movements,
happens. Yeah.
rebalancing things that
Yeah.
trigger, the last half hour of the day in particular. You can see a lot of run up, and take some losses there. So that's something that I may look at again. I try to make those decisions 6 months or 12 months at a time, and stick with it and not waffle back and forth. So
Right.
for 2026 and 2025, I didn't trade the end of the month day. We'll see how it worked out this year, and it might do something different in 2027. But for now, that's kind of the approach we have taken.
Why
We
did
maxed
Kyle remind me again? What was the 20th?
the 20th, I believe,
Or
was
it's a holiday, right? I think we had a holiday this month.
well, now Monday the 25th we
Oh,
did
sorry.
not trade. That was Memorial Day.
Right.
The 20th was the FOMC meeting day, I
Right.
believe.
Okay. Okay. You're right.
So
Got it.
that is really the only market driven event day that I will avoid trading entirely. FOMC release day, just because there's basically no premium decay from the time we open up until the release of the rate decision, and then the press conference, later in the afternoon. So there's
Yeah, I think the press conference is what really drives volatility. I think everybody kind of has unless there's some wild, misguided, let's say they're supposedly gonna slash rates or keep rates even, and then they raise rates, that could create crazy volatility. But I think
yeah,
it's all about
yeah,
tonality of the actual
and that
speech, right? That kind of drives
yeah,
things.
and that may calm down. I mean, we've had periods here lately where first we were raising rates, and then now we've the last couple of moves have been down, and there's talk about if we're going down further, if we're going to need to raise them again, and so there's still a little bit of unknown going into each meeting.
True.
When and if we get to a position where things have stabilized and there's really no expectation for there to be changes moving forward, then I would
Right.
guess we'll see a more, maybe not 100% normal, but a more normal decay curve on those days, and then they may be worth trading. But for now, again, while that's not the case, I think it's typically not worth the risk.
I think from a personal account perspective, those looking at this video, there is edge in trading FOMC, just maybe not specifically the same sort of way you're extracting VRP or looking at your basic strategy, sort of. I mean, I see EMA. The basic stuff we're doing here is not well suited for FOMC days, but that's not to say that there isn't edge to be extracted on those days, and there definitely is. And I know plenty of traders that have
100%. I've got friends that will trade, just selling premium all morning and just watching it not decay for 5 hours, is not great. But knowing if you know how the market is moving that day, that there's this huge volatility crush, around the time the announcement is made. I know a couple people that will sell, an iron condor, right prior to the announcement, and then have a real tight profit target on it, where they're just looking to extract 10 or 20% on the quick volatility crush before it moves too far one way or the other. But I mean, you got to know you could be playing with fire there. So anything you do on an FOMC day, during or before or through the announcement, is you need to know what you're doing. So I would play small, but for the mechanical, simplistic type of trades that we're doing here, it's just not a good fit. So we stay away from it and stick to the
ride or die stuff. Could be interesting here. Again, maybe something we discuss as this project continues throughout the year. So kind of defined risk stuff could be interesting. You never know.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's kind of where we ended up. So yeah, we maxed out up about a little over $1,500 on the 15th, and like I said, we had kind of a rough week there. Lost 3 out of 4 days. Ended up with a nice day to close the month out on the 28th, and finished up about plus 1,300. So if we take a look, if we want to break these out and look at each strategy, and I don't think you've seen these yet. So
no, I haven't. No.
EMAs again led the way. Our trend trades.
Whatever magical EMA times you're selecting is just continuously printing. So good job on that.
Apparently so. The Iron Condor QQQs did really nicely as well. 8.3% PCR on those.
Nice.
So that's good. The opening range breakout trade that
not
did
so hot
well
this
last month was 50 or 60% PCR.
Yeah.
So we doubled. We went from 1 to 2 contracts on those. So Murphy's Law, anytime you size up there, that trade's going to lose the next month.
Yeah, that's a known
Which
law. Okay.
Yeah, which which it did here. So we were
Yep.
50% win rate there on those 4 trades.
Yep.
And then the Donchian, the
Small
indicator
loss.
driven trades was
Yep.
a slight loser, minus 9.5%
Yep.
PCR this month.
Yep. So let's talk about that one real quick, because we've announced some stuff in our Discord channel. So we've made some slight adjustments, kind of advancing this to a Donchian 2.0 type indicator, and that has a couple additions: kills, a new kill zone during lunch, ability to sort of measure distance between last time you breached a certain direction and waiting for a certain amount of points to continue in that same direction before taking the next signal. So we're making some fine tuning. We're not changing anything per se, like aggressively, just some fine tuning in how we take that signal, but it's all in the Discord.
Okay.
And we've essentially tuned it to sort of to look for those things come June. So the June Donchian signal will be just slightly fine tuned based on that 2.0 indicator.
Yeah, so that gives us the ability to not enter quite so many trades the same direction quite so quickly.
Correct. Correct.
To avoid getting kind of rolled
Stacking.
over if the market turns, and then you ended up entering too many too quickly in one direction.
Exactly. Just to avoid some stacking, so you're not selling the same strike over and over again.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Sounds good. So that's, I mean, all in all, again, this is, I feel like it was definitely not an easy month, but the results do speak from themselves. Another 3% plus win, another almost $1,300, hopefully to go get donated here at the end of the year. We'll continue stacking on that moving forward. So before we take off, though, we wanted to talk about a couple additional trades that I think we're going to add in kind of to the toolbox here for the month of June. Those are both going to be debit trades, so they don't use a lot of buying power. They'll fit in pretty nicely to a smaller account like this. So the one that I'd kind of picked out to add in, we're going to do a double calendar in Apple. Actually was the ticker we're going to use. So we're going to be launching the ability later this summer across the board for everybody to have access to 12 new tickers, including the Mag 7 stocks that now have Monday, Wednesday, and Friday expirations. So kind of one of the things I wanted to look at there was there any edge in things like debit trades or double calendar trades? And I've picked one out, a 721 DTE Apple double calendar that I kind of like, that will enter on Friday. Have I think a 50% profit target on that throughout the week. If it doesn't hit, then we close it about an hour before the close the following Friday. So that'll roll in.
Nice.
Up to 7 days. So should have 4 of those entries during the month. So we'll see. It's not a huge trade, only $400 or $500 to enter. I think I've allocated up to $1,000 in the account. So we may get a 2 lot or just 1 lot, depending on what the price is.
Nice.
At entry, the idea with the double calendar is that you're selling the shorter term. So in this case, the 7 DTE trade, and you are buying the 21 DTE. So the hope is that the shorter term is decaying quicker. You're earning theta on that more quickly than you're losing theta on the long options for the 21-day expiration. And you've got the calendar on either side of where the market is. It calls above, puts below, and kind of like to keep it hopefully between those strikes and just let the theta work to your benefit. So we'll add that in, see how that goes next month. And then I know we've got one other trade that you're kind of spearheading here, I think in XSP, that we're going to try as well.
Yeah, we're going to try to sort of catch the upside drift when markets kind of like calming down from let's say some overnight action or drifting upwards. We're going to try to catch that momentum upwards with looking at some filters like VIX and gaps to see, hey, are things kind of chilled out overnight? No real action. The market has the potential to run during the day, and we're going to try to ride that wave along on the ride up.
Okay. So
and the structure of that is going to be an iron fly. So we're going to be long something pretty much at the money, short to, let's say, 50 points from the money, and then, long something again, 80 points from the money or 75 points from the money.
Okay.
Trying to get into that sweet spot of, let's say, we're assuming a 50-point run up, and that would be the sweet spot. Just not touching your shorts and breaching your long fully.
Gotcha. So we're opening that trade where we think the market may be going.
Yeah, I mean, we're expecting a drift upwards based on some parameters from overnight price action, and we're hoping to catch that drift during the day.
Okay. I like it. So is that kind of a lower risk, higher reward trade if we get it right?
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah.
Good deal. So yeah.
I mean, there are some, I've tested it pretty thoroughly. There are obviously the win rate on these debit trades is, people I think are expect, or, depends on what you're running, is, hey, a very high win rate on credit trades. This is not the case. This has probably a 55% win rate, but a much larger profit factor every time you do win. So,
got it.
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right. Well, we will get that set up and running in June as well. So when we report back at the end of the month, we'll have a handful of those. We'll have some double calendars to look at, and these same 4 strategies that we have been running again in June as well.
I think maybe July, Kyle, maybe we talk about Gamma Hawk, TBD. This is like fresh leak of the latest and greatest that we're working on. Maybe adding like one lot Gamma Hawk, just because it's not very often that it fires, could be a good fit here too, because it's completely uncorrelated to everything that we already run.
Yeah. Okay.
Stay tuned for what that is.
Sounds good. We will, we'll discuss that next month. So yeah, that's anything else? Any other comments about June, or we'll step away?
I think it was phenomenal. Like, it was genuinely, I think the kids' account did better than my own account. So I'm pleased with it.
Yes, I don't know why, but yeah, I definitely, my PCR was better here, and I guess the more limited, more focused entry times that we have picked here did better than my slightly broader net that I trade personally. But
yeah, same.
Again, I was in a similar position where I made basically all of the money that I made in May over the course of the last 2 days, trading days of the month.
Yeah, so, and I think we're both forward testing some of the other Mag 7 stuff to be able to report back to see if that works. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. It's a bit early to kind of make any judgment calls.
Yep.
But I think there's definitely something there.
I would agree.
Yep.
All right.
That's pretty much it, man.
Stay
tuned. I'm excited to see how June turns out, and hopefully we'll have some cool new additions in July as well.
Sounds good. All right. Well, we will catch everybody, early July with a June performance update again.
Let's go.
All
Talk
right.
soon.
Sounds good.
Take care.
Bye-bye.